Hi guys, thanks for joining us. So today what we're going to talk about is manage instance groups. Why use a managed instance groups? So one of the good advantages of using a managed instance groups is high availability for your app. So you may create a fantastic app. Instead of loading it just on one server and the probability and the possibility of that server falling down or crashing, you can have multiple servers running that same app. So if there is an unforeseen occasion where something has destroyed itself, or the computer or the server has fallen apart, at least then you've got an opportunity for another VM to take handle of the app and still service the requests coming in. So we're just going to go through the steps on how to do it. So what I've done here, I've got my app on a single VM instance. So the best thing to do is to create your preferred spec server. There's probably a couple of ways how to do this. I'm going to use a particular method, but we're going to have a look at how to do it. It's probably one of the easiest ways of doing it. So let's just have a look at the app itself. Nothing spectacular. So I'm just going to go into my server. So here we are in the server. I've spec'd it up with all my bits and pieces. So let's just have a look. So we've got a folder called my app. So I'm just going to go into that. And we've just got this is a diabetes blood sugar, something just to collect blood sugars. Very, very simple. If we have a look at it, you can see very simple, just a simple little app which shows the blood sugars for a given day with the average there as well. Very, very straightforward. Okay, so let's use that. So imagine that's an app which we got thousands and thousands of patients connecting to. So I need to kind of make that single app available across different servers. Now, the thing is, I'm going to stress this, I'm going to stress the first server. So when the CPU gets stressed more than 30%, it should fire up another server. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's my preferred server. First thing first, I am going to go into the disks, the actual boot disk of this server. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to stop it first. So here we are. So we've actually got the boot disk for my preferred server. So with this, with the disks, I am going to create an image, a like for like image of my preferred server. So just going to come here. And I'm going to create an image. So I'm going to keep the keyword image there because there's a few of these which we're going to have to do. So this is the image of the diabetes app server. The source is a disk, and we're going to keep it. We'll just keep it regional. And that should be fine. So let's do that now. So we're making an image of the actual boot disk of my preferred server. And here we have it, image diabetes app server. You can see here it's got the time 7:42. That's my local time here. Well, it was started at 7:42. At this point, I could create another instance, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, with this image, I'm now going to create an instance template. So I'm going to go down to instant templates. And now I'm going to create a template from that image. So it's ideal here. So this template will be used specifically to create a number of servers. A number of servers will spin off based on this template. So here we have, so we can do diabetes app server template. Okay, that's fine. From here, we go here, select my project. My project is Diabetes Plus. Search for my image, and it's this one here. There you go, and select that. So now that will create a template from the image. And there we have the template, instance template diabetes app server. So we've got the template all up and running. Now we need to convert this template or use it as part of a managed group. So let's go to a managed group. So the managed group is it's the method we use to create an app which sits on multiple servers, which provides high availability. So we're going to get replicas of the same server multiple times. So here we are. So we're going to call instance group diabetes app server. I'll put a 2 just so we don't get confused with the earlier creation I did. That's fine. Let's use the instance template. That's the instance template, which we created in the earlier step. We can have it in a single zone and multiple zones. So one of the big advantages of having an instance group is to have them across different zones. So if one zone goes down, you're covered. Your app will always be operational across the globe. Now, this bit is the bit which is really interesting, which we really want to focus on this video. Minimum number of instances, we can have 1, and the maximum we'll just use 3 for this moment. And what we're saying is that it will start off with 1 instance, and if the CPU gets stressed more than 30%, fire up the additional VMs to support the app. So imagine you have a number of users hitting one server, the CPU goes flying high, that will trigger off the additional instances to come online. So let's do that. The rest of this, we don't really need to look at it at this moment. I'll do another video with the same thing in load balancing, but at this moment in time, I'm just going to trigger the managed group with 3 servers. So let's have that created. Okay, so the managed server group has been successfully created. If we just go into it, we should have 1 server up at the moment. There we are. There's the one and only server absolutely running at this moment in time. Auto scaling, minimum 1, maximum 3. Okay, so let's have a look at it in VM instances, this particular server, and we're going to go into it. Okay, so there's the server. So what I want to do now, I want to stress the CPU of this particular server, which I want it to fire up the other servers as a consequence of it being stressed out. So that's my plan now. And that's ideally what you'll get in the real world. If one of the VMs or a number of VMs does get overloaded, it should trigger off the other ones. So let's do that now. So I'm into the VM itself. I preloaded a little tool called the Stress app, which will stress the two CPUs. So if we can just look at the number of CPUs I have on this server, we can see there are two CPUs. So let's stress those two CPUs out. Stress CPU 2, and we'll do it for 60 seconds. And I'll pause the video and I'll come back to it at the end. So here we go. So it started. So let me just pause the video for a couple of seconds, for the 60 seconds. Okay, so that completed the stressing of the two CPUs for a duration of 60 seconds. Let's see what happened behind the scenes. So let's go into, first of all, into the app, into the first VM, which we fired up. And the good thing with Google Cloud, if you go into the VM, you can got this tab here, observability, where you can pick up some information, some monitoring tool usage to see what actually happened on the server or is happening on the server at this moment of time. So we're just going to go into there and the CPU part, and hopefully we should see some interesting data. So we're into the data, and if we just take the first one, the simple example, CPU utilization, we can see it has peaked at 53%. It may even go show more data. 7:53 that timestamp was. Local time at the moment is 7:56. So I think we're going to get a bit more information, but still, we used a limit of 30% CPU usage. So that's exceeded that. So let's have a look at what's happened in the group. And there you have it. All three VMs got fired up because of the stress of the original CPU. And there you go. And that's a way you can ensure that your app has got high availability regardless of what is happening underneath with the CPU and memory. You can obviously create different metrics. You maybe want to do more of the CPUs, maybe you want to do a memory, maybe you want to base it on network load. Entirely up to you which you wish to do. So that completes that exercise, how to create a managed group out of a single server and ensure you have high availability. Just a last point here, in order to delete it, what you would need to do is just go onto each server, stop and delete, or you can just go delete here, and then once they're all stopped and delete, you can go off and delete the managed group. So with that, I hope you enjoyed that. If you like more of these videos, please hit the notification button. Please subscribe, and I'm sure we'll be back with some more GCP videos. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.